Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am making Karela today. Now Karela is bitter gourd and it's called bitter gourd because it's really bitter. And I usually find them in the Asian supermarket, so you won't find it in a normal supermarket. Sorry about that. But I absolutely love this vegetable, and growing up, I remember clearly that I was the only one eating it. My two sisters growing up, they didn't really like Karelas very much. It's because it's kind of slightly bitter. The bitterness does kind of die down a little bit because of the way it's cooked, but there's still something about it, and it's just so delicious cooked with all the spices. I am making my mom's recipe. It's not something that I have come up with. This is what she cooks it like. So I thought I will share it with you. So I'm going to use around 20 pieces of Karela, and then I'm just going to stuff it with this lovely combination of spices, and then be patient and cook it slowly until we have cooked it through and the spices have seeped right inside the Karela. So here I have got around 20 small Karelas. You can also find a bigger version, and if you're using that, you can obviously use half the quantity of the Karelas, but I'm going to be using 20 of these today. And now time to prep these. So you could just use a knife and peel off the skin of all the Karelas, but it does mean that sometimes you peel off a bit too much. So to avoid that, I'm using a peeler. So it just gets rid of the really thick skin on the outside, and I'm going to do the same with all of them. And once I have done and peeled off all the Karelas, the next step is to cut open the stomach of this thing, and just make sure you don't cut through it and cut it into half. Just cut and slit open the stomach, and again I'm going to repeat it with all of the Karelas. Once I have done that, the next step is to salt them. Now this process just what it does is it takes away the bitterness of some of the bitterness of the Karela. So just use a good pinch of salt and put it inside the slit, and also rub it outside the Karela. And then once you've done that with all the Karelas, just let them sit for an hour, and hour, 2 hours, just let them sit. And once that is done, I'm just going to give it a good rinse. Make sure that the salt from the stomach's gone and also from the outside. And now I'm going to make the spice mix or the masala to go inside the Karela. So I'm using a teaspoon of salt here, also a teaspoon of turmeric powder, a teaspoon of garam masala, 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, and 1 teaspoon of chili powder, and 1 teaspoon of amchur or dried mango powder. Give it a good mix, and then we can start filling the Karelas one at a time. Just open the slit and use a good pinch of the spice mix, and then fill it into all the Karelas. And now what my mum does is that she uses a plain color thread, just a white or a cream thread, just a sewing thread, normal thread, and then wrap the Karelas with it, just because I think she says that the spice mix doesn't come out of the Karela. So this is a thing that she does, and I think it works. So I'm going to tie up all the Karelas and just going to leave 2 of them unwrapped to see if there is actually a difference. So once I've done that, then get good 3 to 4 tablespoons of sunflower oil, and then this is a slow cooking process, so make sure the heat is on medium when you start, and then lower the heat once it starts sizzling, and then cook this for a good 10 to 15 minutes before you come back and then start turning the Karelas over. You can see they're starting to get golden on one side. I'm going to turn this over and then again let it cook for another 10-15 minutes before I come back and turn it over again. So I'm going to do this and cook this for a total of around 45 to 50 minutes, as long as it takes for the Karelas to cook, and that's it. Now it's this where you can't really rush it because you have to cook it slowly. If you cook it on high heat, of course it's going to get golden outside, but it won't soften through, and then when you bite it, it'll still be crunchy, and you really want it to cook it through because it's really nice when it's nice and soft. So this is something we don't eat on its own. It's not like a dish on its own. You really need something with it. So you can have it with some piping hot chapatis, or the best way is if you have like a dal or a curry or a kind of any kind of curry, and then you have it with the Karela and roti or rice. Oh my god, it's absolutely heaven. The best thing is that once this is cooked, we're going to have some fresh today with some, I've got some rice and tadka dal, which is the best combination. But whatever is left, I'm going to put it in a box and put it in the fridge once it's cooled down. And they last for a good over a week, like 6, 7, 8 days, sometimes 10 days, because they just kind of, if you cook them properly through and through and they're not kind of raw in the middle, they will last a good few days in the fridge, and then you can just warm it up and eat it with your meal. Once this is cooked, it's cooked for a total of 45 minutes on low heat. That is the key part, and the last 5 minutes I've just let it cook on high heat. So the key is now to let it cool down. I'm just going to let it cool down so it's cool enough to handle and take off the thread that is tying the whole thing up. Once it's cooked, you can let it cool down for a few minutes until it's easy to handle the Karelas, and then one at a time just get rid of the thread that was keeping the Karela intact, and that's it. And I'm just going to show you the Karelas that actually were not tied up, and you can see that actually these two Karelas, the spice mix has come out. You can see it's outside, a little bit has come out, not all of it, so it doesn't affect it so much. But here the other one which was tied up, the spices haven't come out at all. Look at how soft and squidgy it is. Karela. You can see that it's so soft and lovely, and I'm going to serve it with some tadka dal, rice and Karela, and it's still hot. I have no patience when it comes to when the food is ready. I just want to eat it. Yeah, so it just kind of falls apart, like when the meat is cooked to perfection, it'll just fall apart. It's exactly the same with this Karela. Oh, I haven't made this in so long. I don't know, maybe a couple of years. Oh, it is so intense because it's really, really savory, and it's really salty, really spicy. The whole reason being it's eaten with something that can kind of mild and take up all the spices. But it is absolutely delicious. I would happily have it with some chapati, yogurt, and just the Karela. And it's got this delicious Karela flavor which no other vegetable has. So I hope you will try something new. Find this in your Asian supermarket and give this a go. Let me know your thoughts. Did you like it? Did you not like it? I would really love to know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you very soon with another new recipe. Oh, Karela, I've missed you.